Hello, welcome to episode number 424 of the TEW 808 Challenge Run. This is going to be ECW for week 1 of October 2023, and it's the, it's not the go home to anything, fuck. I was going to say go home, well it is technically the go home to No Mercy, but that's irrelevant because that's a SmackDown pay-per-view. But we continue the road to High Voltage. High Voltage is on, week 3 of October 2023. And yeah, we learned our main event last week. Roman Reigns will challenge Dolph Ziggler for the ECW Championship. And the Tribal Chief is here tonight to kick off the show. So without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. Roman Reigns comes to the ring with the Usos and Paul Heyman to start the show. And he goes, "Long Island, New York, acknowledge me." Now, I'm sure y'all heard last week, having connections in high places, like the wise man here, it gets you some neat opportunities. And those neat opportunities, for me, include me getting ready to sit back at the head of my table. Because I should be on the top of my show. And I'm going to be the top of my show when I smash Dolph Ziggler at High Voltage, and I take that ECW championship from him. But now, more importantly than that, I'm actually happy to be out here tonight because I've got a bone to pick with my cousins. Now you see, my cousins, despite what I may be thinking, they're still a part of this tag team championship tournament. Congratulations, Jay. You've managed to not be a disappointment to the family for once in your life. But I hear that, 2 weeks' time, you got your semi-final. You're facing Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander, two guys you should easily be smashing past. But yet I look at you, specifically you, Jay, and I see doubt. I see doubt in those eyes, Jay. Are you sure you've got what it takes? And Jay goes, "Yes, Oos. Me and Jimmy, we've been dominating tag team matches for the past decade and a half, Oos. We know what we're doing. Roman goes, "Good. Because as it currently stands, High Voltage is going to be the night the demise of the bloodline was greatly exaggerated. And if you are going to be a loser and force me out of this show, well, we may as well take the whole damn thing over." I'm here to show the world. I'm here to show the world. Dolph Ziggler interrupts. He goes, "Roman, same old crap with you, This is actually the first time, you and I have been able to speak to each other, You gave me a little side-eye glance 2 weeks ago. Wasn't a fan of that. Okay. And then last week, Heyman here, the GM, came out to me after I had a grueling main event against a legend in Rob Van Dam and dumps on me the information that I've got to go to ECW's first branded pay-per-view, High Voltage, in 2 weeks' time, and I've got to defend against the almighty Tribal Chief. Well, let me tell you something, Roman Reigns. My rise to this championship has been well documented. My rise to this championship over the last 2 years has been something to behold. Your rise to the championship consisted of you getting put into a group that you were told to be a part of because, hey, they gotta make this kid look good. And don't worry, kid. At High Voltage, even though I'm gonna beat you, I'll make you look strong, because that's what I do. I steal the show, and I make guys like you look better than you are. But don't worry, Roman Reigns, the only reason why you have got this shot is because of your relationship with Wise Man here. My boss, Paul Heyman. And maybe once Heyman sees you choke, you're giving a lot of stick to Jay. You're giving Jay a lot of crap because he lost a match, 5 months ago? Get over it, Roman. You're gone from SmackDown. That place is doing just fine without you. And this place is doing just fine without you too. So at High Voltage, I'm going to put my heart on my sleeve. 20 damn years in this industry on the line to prevent this show from becoming a weird little circle jerk where you think your bloodline can just run around like it's 2022. Get with the times, Reigns. The bloodline's time is over. And this ECW does not welcome people like you. And Roman just laughs. He goes, there it is. There's that fire, that trademark fire from Dolph Ziggler that we've all come to know over the years. Well, let's check up with reality here. I come out here and I say my piece. I don't need to get all fired up. I don't need to scream into this microphone. Because when I talk, everybody listens to what I gotta say. The crowd, I got them in the palm of my hands. When I want to speak, I don't have to raise my voice. Because when I say it, I mean it. Whereas you want these people to applaud you and vindicate your little career as a mid-carder. But here's the thing, Dolph. Even you don't believe it. You're looking at me right now scared. Because, don't get me wrong, Dolph. For these past 2 months of being here on ECW, you were a great inaugural champion. You know, the rise of Dolph Ziggler to the top is everything that ECW should be all about. But, once the story is in the chase, kid, and your time's running up in about just over 2 weeks' time. That's it. You can make it to High Voltage. Jimmy. He's like, yes, my tribal chief. He goes, get him. Jimmy then jumps on Dolph Ziggler, super kicks him, beats him up. Borden rushes out with a steel chair, and he swings at Jimmy. Jay then comes like, Jay, get him. And Jay sort of like jumps into the fight, but Borden ends up powerbombing Jay, and Jimmy's down with the chair. Ziggler gets up, super kick to Jay as well. And then Borden grabs him back, he goes, hey, Roman, huh? Don't think that it's going to be that easy for you at High Voltage. Because, you know, as long as I'm still living and breathing on this show, you ain't getting a bypass to any championship. And I'll make sure there's none of this usual bloodline bullcrap. Next week, me and Dolph, we're taking your cousins out. And then at High Voltage, Dolph Ziggler, he's going to show you up. Oh, okay. And this would be good. 95, that might be the best match of the tournament so far. It is the final first round match. It's the young veterans of Tekkers taking on Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. And in 1744, it is Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly who advance to the next round, where they will face Damon Kemp and Ronnie Hughes of Hurt Business. Roderick Strong submits Jagger Reed with a stronghold. Guess that's here, Kyle O'Reilly. Dudley Davis came out to attack Rip. That's not exactly what happened. What happened is Zack Sabre Jr. is out here, and I guess Dudley comes out to fight him off while he's trying to cheat or whatever. And that evens the numbers, and then Roddy pins Jagger Reed to advance, yeah. 77 for Jagger, 83 for Rip, 71 for Roddy, and a 94 for Kyle O'Reilly. Holy shit. We then get a quick backstage segment of RVD, and Wesley's talking to him. You know, he goes, Rob, you know, you've always somebody that I sort of looked up to, like an inspiration in this business to me. I just wanted to say that last week you proved that you still got it. And he goes, thanks, dude, you know, it meant a lot to finally be out there again, main event for that championship, you know. It could have been me fighting the tribal chief at High Voltage, you know. And Wesley goes, well, you know, you never know. It could be me and you at High Voltage. And Rob goes, that'd be pretty awesome, dude. And Wes goes, hey, you're free next week? You know, I'd love to, you know, lock it up with one of my heroes, Rob Van Dam. And he goes, you know what, dude? I actually think I am free. You got yourself a match, dude. So yeah, Wes Lee and RVD in a match next week. Should be fun. 71 rated tag team match. Live for battle. Shida is the one set to face Julia for the Women's Championship at High Voltage. And her and Liv get a nice tag team win here. They beat two NXT girls, April Halliwell and Kelsey Page. Shida submits April with a full metal muffler. 77 for Liv Morgan, 84 for Hikaru Shida, 35 for Kenzie Page, and a 48 for April Halliwell. Yeah. I had no other heel tag teams. I didn't want to beat anyone from Next Gen. I didn't want to beat Toxic Attraction. Or I didn't want to beat... That's it for heel teams on ECW, actually. The third one I'm thinking of is Alexa and Nikki are branded to ECW, but they are still the champions, so they're floating for now. Actually, I don't even know if that is the case. They might be on Raw. Doesn't matter. They'll land wherever they land once they drop the belts. We then cut backstage, and Shinsuke, Minoru Suzuki, and Aoi Maikawa are sort of discussing something backstage in Japanese. But the gist of this segment is that Yoko Uehara, we haven't seen her in a while. I put her with Kamiko Takanaka, and then she was on painkillers, so she got sent to rehab, which means Yoko is free. So she's going to join Ichiban tonight to team with Aoi Maikawa for the Women's Tag Team Championships, because Meiko Satomura, say it with me, is not available tonight. She's working for Sendai Girls. So I've got sick of just, hopping about waiting for her. So she may still be on screen when she's around, but I'm done relying on her being a, full-time active member of the group. So Meiko sent a message to Yoko, I guess, to join the group and be Aoi's tag team partner tonight, because she needs a partner because Meiko can't travel. So yeah, that's the both kayfabe and real life explanation as to why that's happening. We then cut to the ring. Matt Cardona, Kurt Hawkins, Chelsea Green. And he goes, "Long Island, my hometown. God. I used to call myself the Long Island Iced Tea, that guy who's dead. He used to associate himself with this city. But after I've traveled the world and become an indie god, the sports entertainment god, the greatest wrestler on earth, the television champion, this place sucks. And I hated coming back home because it reminds me of when my life wasn't as awesome as it is now. I mean, before I was banging a WWE diva, before, me and my best friend were on top of the world and I was this champion, when I was a lonely little loser from Long Island like all of you are now. But I did promise my people a huge return to WWE here tonight. And I've got just the man, because there is still one man in Long Island who I hold near and dear to my heart. One man in Long Island in wrestling who never got his big break. My other best friend. Please welcome star of Z, True Long Island Story, the Big O. Out comes the Big O. And he gets into the ring. Matt Cardona gives him a big hug and he goes, "What? Why are you booing? This is one of your people, Nobody bigger than this is going to return here tonight, okay? This is the biggest star that's going to return to WWE here tonight, and I want to hear you chanting, Big O, Big O, Big O. Come on, crowd. Say his name.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Matt. What are we going to do about you, mate? You seemed really, really gotten to by Edge's bitch 2 weeks ago. Maybe it hit a little bit too close to home. I've got a whole lot more of them in my locker if you want them. But I think that you need to defend that television championship at High Voltage. And Matt kind of goes, "What are you talking about? Like, yes, go make your stupid little songs, okay? That's not going to get you a championship opportunity. I beat you, Joe. Huh? You're going to come out here and pick a fight with me in my hometown with my two best friends by my side, huh? I mean, you can't win that, because jumping into a fight against three men who'd whip your ass shows you'd have no brains and no brawn. Joe Hendry just laughs. He goes, well, I think I showed I had plenty of brains coming up with the quality song that was Edge's Bitch. That takes some skill. That does, Matt, something you know nothing about. And that other word you said was... what was it? Because I said, you've got no brains or no brawn. No brains or what, Matt? Brawn. Outstorms Braun Strowman. He's back. Watch yours. And he storms to the ring. And he clears the ring of Matt Cardona and Kurt Hawkins. And then he grabs the Big O. He tosses him to the floor. The referee gets in the ring. He rings the bell. And Braun Strowman destroys the Big O in 1 minute with a power slam. Braun gets a 67. 35 for the Big O. So yeah. Former IWGP Intercontinental Champion Braun Strowman. His contract came up like a month ago. And I was going to get him back anyway just to do that bit. But New Japan weren't offering him a deal anyway. So that sort of just sealed the whole thing. I was like, oh yeah, he's definitely coming in. And the Big O, he's a one-off, don't worry, but he's not going to be here full time. He's just a one-off because I knew Braun was coming back in this segment. I wanted to do the whole thing of, somebody actually did come back, but it was still misleading by Matt Cardona, but the segment wasn't. That funny bit. So yes, Braun Strowman has destroyed the Big O in his first match back here in WWE. And it's then announced, I guess, that Matt Cardona will defend his ECW Television Championship at High Voltage. But it will not be against Joe Hendry. It'll be against Braun Strowman. We then cut backstage. Cora's in the press box, sort of just pacing around. She goes, Cora Jade, you requested this time once again. She goes, yes, I did, Mackenzie. Okay. Like, what is with wrestlers on this roster? Like, I'm the fastest rising young star in this division, and then this group of girls that call themselves the next gen come over here, and they get in my grill. They go, oh, don't worry, Cora. I'll watch your back in that match against Hikaru Shida and Liv Morgan. And then they lose. Okay, they didn't have my back at all. So, I'm flying solo right now, Mackenzie. Done with anyone else. It's all about me and me alone. And then next gen walk in and they go, what? Cora, you lost last week, okay? We, in any tag team action, none of us have ever been pinned. None of us have ever been submitted. It was you who got pinned last week. And you are the disappointment, Cora Jade. And you're just jealous because, as you said, you were the fastest rising young star in WWE, but that's not true anymore because you look at us and you know we've surpassed you. But I'm just saying. Ask Trish Stratus, ask Lita, Beth Phoenix, Alundra Blaze, Bianca Belair, Candice LeRae, Florence, Lyra Valkyria, Killer Kelly. Whose bad side you don't want to get on? One of you and 5 of us. Be a bit silly. And Kathy just walks off with the rest of the group. Cora goes, well, fine. I'll leave you alone, but only because I said I don't want to deal with anybody else anymore. Okay? Get lost. 81. Okay. That match probably did better because Yoko was in it. I haven't checked Nikki Cross's momentum yet. I should probably do that after the show. But Alexa and Nikki do retain against Yoko and Aoi. Alexa pins Yoko with a Twisted Bliss to make defense number 3 of the women's tag team titles. 61 for Nikki Cross, 77 for Alexa Bliss, 85 for Aoi Maikawa, and a 64 for Yoko Urihara. Yeah. Probably a better match without Meiko, because Meiko, her stats are obviously great, but her pop is bleh. So, Yeah, and these two have good stats and decent pop, so, yeah. Oh, Nikki Cross, okay, apparently, whatever. Nikki Cross, of all these people. Funny thing is, Alexa actually has the highest psychology of everybody in this match. Alexa's got like 78 psych. She's like a fucking general in this save. But, though, we do come back and we see JC and Gigi just watching on the screen, watching the title match, just shaking their heads and go, see, you know, they were so desperate for that match and they lost it anyway. Like, yeah, you know, JC, that was a bit silly of them, wasn't it? And JC goes, well, you know, you see Yoko out there. Where did little Mako go, huh, Gigi? And Gigi goes, I don't know, where did Mako go? She goes, oh, never mind, forget it. Anyway, you know, Ichiban, you know, stepping down the line again, wasting our tag team title opportunity. You know, I'm going to give Aoi a piece of my mind next week. Then Adam Cole and the Paragon are walking past. Adam Cole's in the main event tonight against Minoru Suzuki. And he goes, hey, girls, you know, I couldn't help but overhear that you guys, you got a bit of issues with those Ichiban boys. Okay, it's okay, because Adam Cole, baby, I don't need to tell you the story, okay? Let's skip to just the chapter we're on now. I've also, you know, that got an issue with those guys, and if those girls need humbling, there's two of you and there's four of us. I'm just saying, Adam Cole, baby, could probably strike something up for you. And Gigi just sort of looking confused. He goes, the offer is always standing if that's something you want. And Gigi goes, no thanks, bye. He goes, huh. Shoot yourself, we can find anybody. And he walks off. 90! Let's go. I had 15 minutes to kill because the match I normally have 5 matches on an ECW show. One of them was Braun Strowman versus the Big O in 1 minute. So I had time for another match. It's Cesaro against Damian Priest. They have a 90. Priest wins with the South of Heaven in 14:46. Cesaro gets a 93 and a 78 for Damian Priest. Yeah. It is what it is. Next week, though, we have a pretty sick card. We have the second round, well, semi-final, I guess it is technically as well. Tag Team Championship Tournament match. Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly take on the Hurt Business's Damon Kemp and Ronnie Hughes. Primetime Ronnie Hughes. The winners of that match will go to High Voltage to face off against the winners of the other semi-final, which will take place in 2 weeks' time. But the Usos, who will be in that semi-final, are in action next week. They're going to team up to take on the duo of the ECW champion Dolph Ziggler and Warden. And then, on top of that, you have Aoi Maikawa and JC Jane. You know, JC said she subtly digged last time, or not last time, like earlier on tonight, but she wants to teach a lesson to Aoi Maikawa, and she plans to do just that next week. And then we heard earlier on tonight, Wes Lee and Rob Van Dam set for a showcase exhibition match on next week's ECW, and ahead of her Extreme Rules match with Shotzi Blackheart at High Voltage, Blair Davenport will also be in action on next week's show. But moving on to High Voltage itself, we learned the main event last week. The main event of the show will feature Dolph Ziggler, the ECW champion, taking on your tribal chief, the self-proclaimed face of ECW, Roman Reigns. And just announced, for the ECW Television Championship, Matt Cardona, the sports entertainment god, takes on the returning monster among monsters, Braun Strowman. 94 rated main event. Yeah, Minoru Suzuki gets a 64, but he still gets carried to a 94. Adam Cole does pick up the win. Goes 1938, he pins Suzuki with the last shot. Adam Cole scores a 96 and a 64 for Minoru Suzuki. And yeah, nothing really else happens there, just a banger main event to close ECW. No post-match angles. Gets a 92 rated show. And yeah, for an ECW, this has gone 25 minutes, which is pretty long for an ECW show, but what matters more is what you thought of it. Do let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for SmackDown, the go-home show the day before the SmackDown branded No Mercy, with a huge main event, a SummerSlam rematch, a rematch of our only 100 rated match in the entire save, as Io Sky faces Asuka in a non-title match. See you then.